Christopher, and you have been a very bad owner. Dude, your cat...
Hey, how's it going? It's Simple from AICreatorU, and in this video I want to show you how to create killer cartoons with just AI. AI has advanced so much in the last couple of months that now you can make your own cartoons very, very easily if you know the right process, and I'm going to cover everything in this video. So let's go ahead. I'm going to show you what we're going to be making. I'm going to show you a little sneak peek of a cartoon that I'm making called Kevin and Company, and then we're going to walk through the steps of how you can do it too.
Oh, come on. That kid's like 9. His mom should be packing his lunch mitts, not buying him a gaming PC.
Kevy Bear, I made tuna casserole and I signed you up for the neighborhood 5K because Dr. Phil says sedentary boys become serial killers.
Shut the fuck up, Mom. You're fat and old. And when are you gonna get that thing checked out? It waved at the mailman yesterday. He filed a restraining order against you.
Hello, Kevin.
Great. Now that thing knows my fucking name.
Oh, don't mind Gary, sweetie. He's just a little cranky before his nap.
You named it Gary?
After your grandfather.
I'm going to Vinny's. If Gary touches my hot pucks again, I'm calling in an exorcist and the health department.
At least someone loves me, Gary.
Feed me.
Oh, you're so silly.
Only you, Carol. Only you. Grrr. The boy has left the nest. Begin phase 1.
Why does Vinny live so far? This is why people have cars. Vinny! Fuck this. Fuck bikes. Fuck Vinny.
Yeah, baby. I'm basically a crypto guy. I've got like 3 Doji coins. Want to see my backpack? It's got a laptop in it.
Dude, who are you talking to?
Oh, Kevin. Hey, man, there was a girl here. She left. She had a boyfriend. He was huge. You just missed her. Her name was Moonbeam. Dude, that's a lawn. There's no one there. Moonbeam has layers, Kevin. Whatever. We gotta hang at your place. My mom's growth learned English and my cat's acting weird. Bro, say less! My mom's at a recce cult thing till 6. We can watch that documentary about whether birds are real. The one narrated by the guy from the mattress commercials. Mr. Whiskersworth? Dude, your cat has a lease?
All right, so obviously you can see, AI has come a long way. It's actually crazy what you can create with AI. And now, if you have an idea in your head, you can actually create cartoons with AI, and I'm going to show you how in just a second. So the first thing that we need to do is we kind of need to know what is the story about, who are our characters and things like that. Or maybe a side character, and then from there, we can develop the story between those two, the banter, or how the story develops from there. But first, what do they look like? We need to know exactly what they look like, and we can basically do this in AICreatorU. So what I did is I opened up a new project, and I'm just going to walk you through this process. The process is pretty simple. We basically want to create character sheets for our characters. And the reason we do this is we want to know exactly what they look like, and we kind of want to just get a rough idea of what. So when I was developing this cartoon, I was thinking, a mix between Family Guy and South Park and American Dad and things like that. And so I kind of wanted that crisp, like 4K kind of, not even 4K, but the crisp line cartoon look. And I wanted to kind of think about, okay, what are the characters and what would be actually funny? Well, we can have a smart-ass fat kid that thinks he knows everything and talks down to his mom any way, shape, or form. So I wanted to go ahead and develop basically a character sheet for that. So we want to first just get some ideas of what does a character look like. And we can use this with GPT-2, which is really, really good. You can use this in ChatGPT if you don't want to spend credits on images and stuff like that. It does take a project, and then you can use it all from here. So I want to make a 2D animated character of a fat kid, short, thin, black outlines, cartoon character, kid in a blue shirt, gray shorts, has a attitude all the time. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to develop some images. I'm going to generate a couple of them until I get one that actually looks decent. So when I'm doing this, I don't want to make the prompt super detailed unless I know exactly what they're going to look like. So if you give like really loose prompts, you can actually get a bunch of different looks until you see the one that you actually want. So we start off with our main characters so we can actually figure out how the art style we want is, and then we go from there to develop the other characters. So we start off with one person so we can get the animation, get the main character, we get the art style and all that in one, and then we develop the character sheets for everybody. I want to actually go ahead and go through these and just see how they look, see if there's any art styles that I like, and then we can actually go from there. So like this is a little bit too anime-y for what I'm trying to do. This one's all right. This one isn't even a kid, which, you know, AI, but this one looks good. We got a Rick and Morty background. That's kind of weird. All right, so we got this one. We got this one. This one looks funny. And then we got this one. And then we got some character sheets. And then we got a couple of the same ones. So what I'm going to do, I like this one a lot. So what I do from here is I want to go ahead and make a character sheet for this character. Make a cartoon character sheet on a gray background for this character and this exact art style. So I'm gonna just do this twice. I'm gonna let these generate. And then once we have our character sheet, then we can develop the other characters. That way the art style is consistent and we can actually make sure everything is congruent from there. And then we can actually start making the actual episode. So I'm going to show you after this generates how to actually make the first few episodes using something like Claude to go ahead and prompt. So we have some guides and stuff like that we're going to be feeding Claude, so you can actually make prompts very easily and you just come in here, copy and paste. So you're not sitting here thinking about, okay, how do I prompt this to do exactly what I want? All right, so the character sheets are done and we're just going to take a couple looks. So something like this, we got front, side, back, then we got a couple up close. So some of these look pretty good. This one has a name on here: lazy, stubborn, video games, Doritos, color palette, which I kind of like the color palette, but it's not necessary. And then we got this one, which I like this one overall. This one looks pretty good. So I'm gonna use this one to actually develop the rest of the characters. So I just take this and I drag it in, and we want to actually develop characters from this reference. So my idea for this actual cartoon is this guy, he has adventures with his dog, and they all go wrong, basically. So he has a friend that is actually his dog, and they go do stuff together. So what I'm going to do now is just develop the dog, and maybe we'll use one of these character sheets for his dad, which is like a complete mess, make his dad a complete mess, and then go from there. So keeping this animation art style, we need a fat, ugly, wrinkly dog character sheet. And I'm prompting very loosely, like I said, just so we can get different looks until we see a style that I actually like. That way AI can actually do what AI does, which is give you a bunch of different results until you see one that you actually like. So as long as I don't have the idea for the character yet, I just know I want a fat, ugly dog that is kind of funny looking. AI can go and develop a lot of different ones until I find one that I actually like. All right, so now that the dogs are done, we're going to go ahead and go through this pretty quick. We got a couple of different character sheets, and I like this first one. It's a fat, ugly dog. He doesn't have no neck. It's kind of funny looking, so I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to keep this one. All right, now keeping this animation style and art style, make a character sheet for a 50-year-old dad, worn down, beer belly, depressed looking, but trying his hardest. Now I'm just going to make the dad real quick, and then after that what we're going to do is actually work with Claude or another AI to actually develop the story and go ahead and making prompts. So what I did for Kevin and Co is I had an idea for the story first, and then I developed the characters, and then I developed the lines and things like that, and I worked with back and forth with Claude as we developed the story, and then we got into the prompting of the actual video. It's smooth sailing from there. So what I'm going to teach you from here is once we get the characters, we go into talk to Claude or another AI. You can use ChatGPT or whichever one that you really like. And we develop a basic story outline for the actual plot of the first episode. And we can develop it even further. So if you want to make different episodes and things like that, let's say you want to stick to like finish line, so the story can actually make sense as we get there. So now we have a couple character sheets for the dad. I'm gonna make this one quick. This one right here at the end, you see how there's another kid in the photo in the character sheet. It would not work. You want to kind of avoid that. So this one looks pretty good, and this one looks pretty good. So I like this one. I'm gonna use this one. He's in his pajamas, number one dad, cooking. He looks like he's just trying. So what we're gonna do from here is we're going to open up our assets, and then we're going to move these characters into the assets. So we're going to create an asset for this. We're going to make it a character, and we're going to call it dad, and we're just going to use the dad tag. And what using assets are, so this one, we create a asset for this, save the characters. We'll call him, I don't know. We'll just call him Timmy for now. Timmy, and we're going to make this funny. His dog's name is Susan, even though it's a male, and it's going to be brought up a lot. All right, so now we have our assets. So we can go here and look at our assets. And so we have our assets right here. And these are just basically reusable character sheets that we can reuse as we develop the project. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to develop the first 2 scenes of this episode. And we want to kind of understand where the direction of the story is going. So as you develop it, everything is congruent and moving towards a similar story. All right, so I saved the character sheets into a folder, and now what we're going to do is we're just going to open up Claude, and I'm going to change this to Opus 5 because it keeps switching to 4.8 for some reason. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the folder that I just made with the character sheets in it. All right, and now what we're going to do is actually we're just going to talk to Claude. You can do this with ChatGPT, Codex, whatever, and we're going to just tell it what we're making. So I'm going to go ahead and just say, we are making a cartoon called Timmyland, and Timmy is a smart aleck, angry 15-year-old that hates his dad, and his dad is miserable, and his dog's name is a fat, ugly male dog named Susan that always tries to make Timmy happy, but Timmy is never happy. We're going to be using the but therefore framework to actually create and develop a plot for this. Timmy and his dog Susan goes on adventures daily and gets in a mess of trouble. Let's plot out some ideas, ask me questions about where we might want the story to go and what happens using that framework. All right, so now basically what it's going to do is it's going to actually ask me a couple questions, and then we're going to go ahead and just select 2 to 4 minute shorts, and then Adult Swim observed. All right, now that this is done, let's go ahead and just read through this real quick. So the but therefore plot engine that I gave it is actually from South Park. Trey Parker gave a speech about how they write South Park and how they develop the stories in every episode. And basically they talked about because this happens, therefore this happens. Instead of having something this happens and this happens and this happens and this happens, he talks about they developed this plot technique where but this happens, therefore this happens, which changes the directions of what the kids do in South Park, basically, in every single episode. And so we want to kind of make an adult humor cartoons and stuff like that. You'll see it in Rick and Morty, and you'll see it in like Family Guy, and you'll see it in a bunch of different cartoons. And it is a solid framework. And there's a video out there on YouTube. You can just feed it to Claude, and Claude will understand it, the framework. So let's go ahead and go through this. The rules of the engine, but therefore South Park's rules, as you can see, between any 2 beats, you should be able to say but or therefore, never, and then it is a list. But is a reversal, therefore is a consequence. A short, that's all, and then dies at 40 seconds. So for a 2 to 4 minute short, you get exactly 5 beats. Don't be greedy. Want, but therefore. So Timmy wants something petty and specific. The world, dad, physics say no. Susan helps. It works horribly. The horrible working out creates a bigger mess. Timmy gets exactly what he asked for and is angrier than when he started out. Hard cut. And that's basically the structure of the episodes. So now that we have the structure of the episode, the Susan law. So Claude developed a Susan law, which is the dog. Susan never solves a problem correctly. Susan is the therefore. Every escalation traces back to a fat, ugly dog doing something lovable and catastrophic. He's not a sidekick. He is the plot's motor. If you can cut Susan from a short, the short is wrong. The satisfaction law. Timmy wins every time. That's the joke. He gets the thing, and the thing is worse than not having it, and he cannot admit that the wanting was the only part that he liked. Never end on him failing. That's a normal cartoon. End on him succeeding and being furious about it, which I like. Dad's function. He's not a villain. He's a weather system. Miserable, low energy, occasionally accidentally profound. The best dad beats are when he says the true thing in a monotone while eating something sad, and Timmy has to spend the rest of his short proving him wrong and proves him right instead. And then it goes into the vibe check and what we're actually going to be. Let's develop the first scene. It has to introduce the characters slowly and who they are without saying exactly who they are. Remember, Susan constantly brings up that he's angry about his name because he's a male dog. So, and one of the ways we can do this is actually introduce them without saying, oh, hey, I'm Timmy. Hey, I'm Susan. Hey, I'm the dad. You have to kind of introduce them by developing the plot and their background. So we'll probably jump right into the middle of a scene, kind of thinking that the audience knows who these people are. They're going to be questioning who they are. And then you slowly learn about them as the story develops. All right. So now we have Timmyland Scene 1. The series opens cold, 2 minutes and 20-second Adult Swim absurd. Rule for the scene, nobody says what they are, no names for the first minute, no explosion, no as you know, Dad. Every character is introduced by what they do while nobody is watching. The audience should be able to describe all three of them to a friend afterwards and not be able to point to a single line where it is explained. So that's basically what I want. So we have the cold opening, and we go through the cold opener, the size of a coffee table. Inside it, a full sheet cake, blue frosting, piped letters. Congratulations, Deborah. The rope goes taut. Following it, straining, hauling with his entire body comes Susan, a dog, fat, so ugly the animation should hold on him a beat too long. Like the camera itself isn't sure. Cauliflower ears, one eye that goes its own way, a tongue with no home. And it goes on, he's committed, dragging a cake across the lawn. And it cuts to inside the house, the dad, and obviously introduces the dad, and then they have some dialogue and stuff like that. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and just develop this. We can talk back and forth with it until we get it right. But from here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to feed it my Seedance 2.0 and my Seedance 2.5 training. So if you go to AICreatorU, we have this training tab inside your members area. Once you create a free account, you can access this for free. You go to training, we have Seedance 2.5 and Seedance 2.0 prompting guides, and you can basically feed both of these into Claude or whatever AI you use so it knows how to actually properly prompt. So these documents that we made are actually the documents from Seedance and from Seedance 2.5 structured in a way that you can actually understand them. So if you use Seedance 2.0, it has a completely different prompting structure than Seedance 2.5. So in Seedance 2.0, you would actually use like quotes for what people say. In Seedance 2.5, they actually recommend different stamps for the audio. So if we go here, there's this little chapter that says audio. And as you can see, dialogue, they want in squiggly brackets. So that's super important. So no more quotes for 2.5. You just say, you put them in squiggly lines or squiggly brackets. That way, if you're prompting properly, then you can actually get the outputs that you actually want. So I'm going to use this skill. There's actually a skill at the top of this page. You just copy this to Claude and it'll actually understand. There's 2 text guides right here that you feed into it, and it will develop a skill for you. So using our Seedance 2.5 prompting structure, let's go ahead and develop this as a prompt for the first 15 or 20 seconds. Let's do a 20-second video. We want to make sure that we stick to the 2D animation style that we have and keep the prompt cohesive, and then also make sure to reference the character sheets. So character sheet number 1 will obviously be Susan. Character sheet number 2 is going to be the dad, and character sheet number 3 is going to be Timmy. So make sure you tag those correctly in the prompt. We'll just go through, just want to check everything. All right, so this is the prompt. And now we're going to go back over to AICreatorU. And what we're going to do is just add the assets and start creating the video. So we're going to do Susan first, then dad, then Timmy. So to do that, you just click on project assets. It'll pop up all your assets that we have saved. So now we just copy this prompt, and then we want to make sure that the tagging is in place. So we have image 1, image 2, image 3, or if you want to add them yourself, you can just click on here and it'll add them. So there's two things that you can actually do here. With Seedance 2 and Seedance 2.5, you can actually use audio references. So if you have a voice for your character already done, let's say you want to be the person that records the voice and you have like an MP3 of that person, you can actually add the voice in here too and reference the voice as well. But since we don't have a voice yet, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let AI develop the voice, and then we're going to use that voice throughout the rest of the scene. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So here is this. It is supposed to be 20 seconds. And then I'm just going to read through this one more time. And then we'll do this on 480p. And since this is a short, we're going to basically make it a vertical video, and we're just going to click generate. So now we just let this generate, and we're just going to see how it looks. All right, so we have the first generation. We're just going ahead and check it out. I went ahead and ran another one, but it's not done yet, so we can just compare the two. So let's go ahead.
Deborah know about this?
It's not my birthday.
All right, so it's all right. It's not exactly what it's supposed to be. He's supposed to be pulling it, and it's kind of a little too fast paced, but there's a lot going on in this prompt. Basically, he's supposed to pull in the cake, go through the doggy door, and he comes in and says, it's not my birthday. But overall, it is a good start. So I'm going to let this other one generate, and then we can choose from the two, and I'm going to show you how to extend and also build onto a scene with Seedance 2.0 or 2.5.
Deborah know about this?
It's not my birthday.
All right, so obviously we have two different styles. It's almost the same animation style, but one is obviously messed up. The second one that we generated is a little messed up. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and use this as a reference for the rest of the story. So I'm going to click over here to storyboard mode, let my clips lock in, and what we're going to do is we're just going to double check that this is the clip that we want to use. So from here, we actually kind of want to just extend this clip. So we're going to go back to Claude, and we're going to say, all right, we have the next scene. What is next? And it's very, very simple. Okay, scene is done. Timmy stands in the way. So now I'm just going to let this go ahead and create a new prompt. And then from here, we're just going to extend it and kind of build out the scene. So while that's doing that, what we can actually do is we have this clip right here. And since we're going to be using this, what I usually do is I take the clip and I download it and I extract the voices out of it. So I have clips of the voices for each character. You want about 10 seconds of voices for each character. With Seedance 2.5, it's a little bit easier to extend videos and keep consistent voices, but if you have voice references, then it makes it a whole lot easier to have consistent voices throughout the scenes. So I'm just going to download this, and then I'm going to take it to my editor and just pull the voices that we have right now. We don't have enough just yet to actually pull the whole voice to get to 10 seconds, but we can have a little bit of Vegas, and I just...
Deborah know about this?
So we have the dad's voice right here, and then...
It's not my birthday.
We have a little bit of Timmy's voice right here, and then we just separate the audios, and we're just going to build dad's voice, and we go back here, and we look at shot B block. All right, so we're going to use this super easy button called extend, and we can extend from the end. We want about 10 to 15 seconds. If you do about 15 seconds, it's cheaper. 15 seconds or less from the end of the video, we can actually make the generations cheaper. So we'll do this. So we just get everybody's voice in it. Use point extend. It's going to trim it, and it's going to extend from here, and we just paste in the prompt. So we obviously need our reference material. So image 1 is Susan. So this is generating right here. We're extending from this clip, so we'll be able to actually see what actually happens from extending from the previous clip.
Deborah know about this?
It's not my birthday.
I'm aware.
It says Deborah.
There was a limited selection.
There's a leaf in it.
There's a lot in it.
Then why did you?
Because you were sad yesterday.
All right, so this one's all right. So we would basically go back to Claude, tidy it up, say, hey, I didn't like the pacing of this or whatever. And we would just go back and forth, and then we slowly build out the story. So as you talk to Claude and you feed it basically what you want, so basically things like the dad's too static, he's not doing anything.
I'm aware.
Now we have the dog's voice. Maybe we can describe the dog's voice a little bit better. Timmy comes in, picks up.
It says Deborah.
He doesn't look at the cake, things like that. And we would basically go back and forth, talk to Claude until we have an ironed out story for this. But overall, this is how I have made my cartoon. Just going back and forth, generating, saying, I don't like this, I like this. And the main things that you need is you need your character sheets, you need your storyline, and you need your audio references. So you know exactly what they sound like and what they look like. From there, you can build out the scenes, you can build out image references for different, like their houses or their living rooms or their rooms, and you can keep developing that as you develop the story. And now you have an entire plot, you have an entire character sheet, you have entire backgrounds for each character, you have an entire storyline, and you can make an entire cartoon in an afternoon. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I will post basically my entire workflow down below this video, walk you through everything. And if you have any questions, feel free to join our Discord. Check out AICreatorU.com. Join our Discord, ask any questions. I'm here to help, and just let me know. I'm always in Discord. We have about 1,000 members, and you can ask anything that you want, show off anything that you make, and we'll see you there. See you later.